Hi there and welcome. It's Jackie here from stampingjack.com. It is Wednesday the 14th of April, which means it's time for another live crafting session with you. I'm really thrilled to be here. I've got some fun projects for you tonight. I've got some pop-up cards, so I'm just going to show you a few different ways to create some fun pop-ups on the inside of your cards. So I'm just going to check my setup, make sure I'm in the right place. When you arrive, just leave me a comment below saying hi so I know you're here. Just bear with me 1 second. Let's see. Hi Doreen, welcome. Good to see you. You're first in the door tonight. Let's have a look and find myself. Am I in the right place? There I am. Excellent. Hi Lynn, welcome. Oh, thanks for sharing, Doreen. Appreciate that. Who have we got? Sue, hi, welcome. Thanks for sharing, Lynn. So, how have you all been? How's life for you? I've had an absolutely super day here today, as you might have seen from the photograph earlier on. Kevin and Rupert go back to the UK on Sunday, which is a bit of a bummer. So I've taken a few days off work, and we had a fantastic day out today. Hi Diane, welcome. Went for a lovely walk along the coast, and you know, it's days like today where, you know, despite all the hassle that it's caused, I'm just so pleased that we made the move to here. We're so lucky to be surrounded by so much beauty. The island is still in lockdown, so we're not allowed to go far, but we are due on a Monday for a lot of those restrictions to be lifted, which would be great. We can kind of get back to normal on island. But the big one is waiting for the borders to reopen, and then that just makes life a lot easier when you've got family and you're trying to get back and forth. So when Rupert and Kevin go home at this weekend, it's probably going to be the summer holidays when we see them next, because obviously Rupert has to be at school. So, you know, 2 weeks self-isolation every time they come here is just not doable in a week-long half-term. So, as I say, just felt very, very thankful today to live in such a gorgeous place with all of these wonderful amenities so close to us. And touch wood, the weather has been absolutely fantastic here this last few weeks. And we've had some cold days. We haven't had any of the snow that any of the rest of you've had. And the temperatures have actually been quite warm. So we've really been very, very lucky. Means that they've been able to, once we were allowed out to go for walks and exercise and things, then it was nice. So as I said, I've got some fun projects for you tonight. I'm going to do some pop-up cards, which is a little bit more involved than I normally do, but I thought it'd be a bit of fun. Another bit of news is finally the pastel pearls that I was giving away with February orders have finally arrived. They were on back order, so they are going out in the post in the next few days. And the other thing that arrived in the mail was this, which is the new annual catalogue. Isn't that gorgeous? So I can't show you the inside yet, but this is going live on the 4th of May, so about a couple of weeks to go. So once I've ordered mine for posting, so once these arrive, I will be posting these out to you guys. I know some of you have requested them already, so if you've been in my team and dropped, or if you've been a customer of mine in the last 6 months or so, then you'll receive one of these automatically. If you don't fall into either of those two categories and you'd like one and you don't already have a demonstrator, then simply leave me a comment here and I'll get you details, and of course you can have one. So these should be going out, depends. I know they are on the way according to the UPS tracker, but I don't have any further information than that, so I don't know yet. Fingers crossed they'll arrive in the next few days and I can get them out next week. But I can tell you now that there's some beautiful, beautiful stuff in here. Just look at this stuff on the front. You're going to love this. This is paper and stamps. This is a little suite here. It's absolutely gorgeous, which I know you guys are going to just go crazy for. So that's that. What else have I got to tell you? I think that's it. Yep, so tonight, as I say, we've been keeping an eye on the obviously with the new catalogue coming, the old catalogue was retiring. So there's lots of this stuff is selling out. So just remind you once again, if there's anything in here that you've got your eye on, do make sure to get hold of it because stuff is going. Last week we played with the Rooted in Nature bundle and the beautiful, I can't remember what it's called now, but the big butterfly dies. So tonight we're going to play with some more stuff that's kind of on my list of you must get hold of these, or you should get hold of these before they go because they're great products. Okay, and there's not really a replacement for them in the new catalogue. So let's start with the meant to be stamp set and coordinating dies. So I like these dies because they've got the layering hearts, which are always great. So you've got these, and I always like these sort of skinny hearts, which are really lovely. And it's got this great little die for creating like a border or an element, and then some other lovely bits and pieces. And again, this sort of looks like Valentine's, but again, it doesn't have to be. I love the just for you. There's a best friend here. You make me happy. So there's lots that you can do with this, and you can't really go wrong with hearts, can you? So what we're going to do, as I say, is we're going to make a pop-up card. Okay, ooh, bits stuck together there. So let me just gather my bits together. I've tried to be a bit prepared tonight and have my bits ready. So I'm going to go for some non-traditional colours. So this could be a masculine card, even though it does have some bling on it. I'm using our rainbow glimmer paper. I'm going to use this on a couple of cards tonight. This is not retiring, this is staying, which I'm really pleased about because it's absolutely beautiful paper. So you've got the sort of the purple, the Bermuda Bay, the Granny Apple Green sort of colours. And then you've also got, just grab it here, the yellow, flirty flamingo and pinky kind of colours. So that's also beautiful. So let's start with this one. So this is going to be, as I say, this is a pop-up card. So I've got my Bermuda Bay base, which is just a normal size of 14.5 centimetres by 21, folded in half. And then I've created another effectively card front, but I've just made it 0.5 centimetre shorter all the way around. So this is 19.5 centimetres by 14 centimetres. Okay, so you end up with effectively an insert. Can you see that? Okay, so you get a bit of a border all the way around. Now for this, I'm going to take my trimmer. Now you could measure this, but you guys know me, I'm not a big measurer. I tend to go by eye. So what I'm going to do, what we want really is just 2 slits down the centre there. And let me just, so you can see where I'm going with this. You can see what I'm going for. So this is my trying out bit. So this is what we're aiming at, okay? And you make this longer or shorter or wider or narrower depending on the bit that you want to go on the inside, okay? So what I'm going to do is I want this a little bit higher up. So you can see here on my trimmer, right, this I've got measurements here, which is great in centimetres, and then we can measure it across the top. Now, if you don't have a trimmer like this, you could measure it and use a knife to cut it, or on the next card I'll show you an alternative way of doing this, okay? So I'm going to, so my halfway point here is on the 10 centimetre line here. That's the crease in my card. And I want, just gonna, that's at the 9, 10 centimetres. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the 9. Okay, so and I want a slot about 4 centimetres either side of this. So I'm going to start. This is the great thing about this, is that you can start wherever you like. You just press it down. So you can lift it up, move it along, and just point the little pointer to exactly where you want it to. Can you see that? Okay, so just make sure that's lined up there. And again, because this is inside, if you don't get this exactly straight or very, very neat, don't worry about it. It won't get seen, okay? So I'm going to go from 6 to 10 to 14, which is 4 this side and 4 that side. So it's 8 centimetres. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide my piece along by about, I'm going to do about 1.5 centimeters. Okay, put this back down. My cutting blade is already on 14, so I'm just going to go from 14 back up to 6. Okay, so you can see there. Now, it doesn't matter if, as I say, if they're not exact, doesn't matter at all. Okay, it's all going to get hidden. So then what I want to do is I just want to fold my card in half like so, and then just press it here on the folds. And get my bone folder. Okay, and that's all you need to do. As I say, you don't need to worry about it being super straight because this won't be seen. You're just going to create your pop-up mechanism. See that? Easy, easy, easy. And then you can just attach whatever you like to that. Okay? All you've got to do is make sure that whatever you do attach, like this, will actually fit inside what you're going to do. So that's the only kind of consideration you need to have in terms of what you're putting on. Okay? So you can put anything inside here. So that's the inside done. So we can stick that down. Grab my glue. Okay, when I'm putting stuff inside, what I like to do is just do one side. Okay, so I'm going to line this up how I want it. So I've got a nice even border here. Okay, so always line it up to the outside rather than to the inside. That means when you look at it, it looks even. Okay, if it's a bit uneven on the inside, it won't matter. So let me just press that down. Okay, and because we've done it that side, it's dead easy now to do this side. Okay, I did this before and I tried to do both sides at once and it did not go well. Has anybody else tried to do that? Okay, and then you just close it over. And again, just use your bone folder. Okay, and there we have it. There's your mechanism. Ready for whatever you want to put on there. Okay, so let's go back to the front. So I've got some black, and again, I'm just keeping the layout out front. Super, super simple. Okay, I'm going to pop that on there. And and here, so I'm going to stamp, I'm going to use happy birthday. So I enjoyed last week doing the white heat embossing on black. So I'm going to do that again tonight. So let me grab my scrap paper. Okay. So we've got our embossing buddy, our Versamark, and our white embossing powder. Now, I want to tell you that when you look at the retiring list, I think I mentioned this when I did my catalogue retirement walkthrough. When you look at the retiring list or on the website at retiring items, you'll notice that it says that our embossing powders are all retiring. Okay? And what I want you to know is that that does not mean that there aren't going to be embossing powders in the new catalogue. Okay? There will be, so there's no need to worry. They're just going to be reconfigured into multi-packs. Okay, and in fact we'll have more colours than we do now. That's all I can tell you. Okay, so let's see if we can get this straight. So yeah, when I was going through the list first and it said that all the embossing powders are on the retiring list, I was like, what? Can't do that to me, especially as the Versamark was still there. So that's why it's just being reconfigured. Oops. Let's just cut this back in. Alrighty, I'll grab my heat tool. Warm it up. There we go. So while I'm doing that, I just noticed Sue's comment saying share. So that reminds me, if you wouldn't mind, I would love it if you would share this video. Share it to your page on Facebook, share it to some friends on Facebook that you think might like it, because I would love to expand our merry band here. Okay, right, so we've got that, and I'm going to use my triple banner punch to just do the ends. Now this is also retiring, which is a bit of a pain, but I do have another punch that I can use instead. I just find this one easier, so there we go. There we are. Okay, and then I'm going to grab, because this has kind of got a masculine feel to it, I'm going to grab these two stamps here. Okay, so we've got a teeny tiny one and the stripy one. Now this stamp, can you see it's got quite a large area edge around there, and that's a recipe for, well, not often, but it can happen that your ink can catch on the edge there. So what I like to do is to trim my stamps. The important thing when trimming your stamps, just give you a quick one here, is to make sure that you trim it that way so that the foam is larger than the rubber. If you cut the foam out from under the rubber, then it won't stamp well. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just going to trim this. So can you see the rubber sticks out further than the foam sticks out further than the rubber. So that means that your stamp will still stamp nicely. So if you have stamps that are catching, it does happen sometimes. One, you're probably pressing a little bit too hard or putting too much ink on your stamp. But if you've sorted those issues out, then it could well be that you just got a little bit of extra rubber. So again with this one, and you just want to, you can see I'm just skimming a tiny bit off. So don't be afraid about cutting up your stamps. Those of you who've been with me for a while will know that I do it a fair amount. Hi Amy, welcome. We're just doing our first card, so you haven't missed much. Alright, so let's get this on here. There we go. Alright, and I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping in the background. So I'm going to take, let's see, we want something really light. So I'm going to take some Pool Party. Where's my Pool Party? Here it is. Hi Ramona, welcome. Right, so I think I'm actually going to put that down there, like so, rather than in the center. What do you guys think? Bottom right or center? While you're thinking about that, I'm going to put these on dimensionals, because where I do my stamping depends on the outcome. So let me hear what you want to, bottom right or center. Where would you like to see this heart go? Bottom right, says Amy. Any other votes? Bottom. Yeah, ladies, I think you're right. There we go. So that's our heart ready to go. So I'm going to pop it here, which means I'm just going to do a bit of stamping down in this corner. Okay. Let's take our Pool Party. And stamp it off. And we'll just keep popping our piece back to guide us as to where we want our stamping to go. And I think we probably need a small one up here. And let's put a small one down here. There we are. Okay, easy peasy. So now we can assemble this. go. And I'm just going to glue that onto a piece of black. Okay, and then that can go on our Bermuda Bay base. And then we move to the inside, which is where the fun really is. Okay. So there we go. So that's pretty. That's a nice card. But we're going to do the inside now. So let's open it up. And I have another heart. Okay, and that's going to be attached to our piece here, like so. See that? But I just need to position it. Don't know if you can see that, but if I put it like that, when the card closes, this sticks out. So I'm just going to move it up a little so that it doesn't stick out. Okay, but first I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm going to grab my Bermuda Bay and I'm going to stamp the Just For You on the inside. Okay. I'm going to put that down here. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some double-sided tape. Okay. And I'm just going to attach that. This is the fiddly bit. So I'm just going to attach it to this piece here. Okay. Alright, and because I want a really good solid attachment, because this is an interactive bit, I'm going to put 2 strips. Okay, can you see that? And then we'll just, oops, sorry, just knocked the camera. And then we'll just pop those off. If you've got a bit sticking out over the edge, you can just clean it like that. And then we'll just pop our, what I'm doing is I'm just looking at it. And then we'll press down, and then we have our pop-up. And in fact, that's a little bit too close to the edge, so before it really sets fully, let's see if I can move it slightly. There we go. So there we are, pop-up card number 1. And as I said, you can put anything you want on here. And in fact, what I am going to do is I'm going to take my heart, pool party, and I'm just going to stamp these. Whoop. And then I'm going to throw it on the floor. So there we go. Ooh, hearts! Lovely, how appropriate. Glad you liked it. So, let me just put some of this away now, because we're going to move on and do a different card. Same pop-up. So, put these here. I'm trying to be a little bit tidy when it comes to this stuff. Not always easy, but do my best. Right, so let's pop that there. Put our dies away. Like I said, I love that large sort of skinny heart. It just gives it a very sort of contemporary look. And you could do that with anything, any kind of papers that you like. I had cut out some of the others out of that same paper, but I don't think we'll need them on this card. I think that's enough for this one. Right, so the next card, I'm going to show you how to achieve a pop-up inside. If you don't have a trimmer like that where you can do that, or you haven't got a knife, or you don't want to do that in cut like so. Okay, so what we're going to use for this one, I love this stamp set, but I particularly love the dice. It's the Geared Up Garage, and here are the dies. I love these. Now, obviously you've got these bits here which cut out the images, but for me the star of the show are these dies. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with our base of basic grey, and then we have some black, and then we have some Sahara sand. So we're going to go for kind of a manly card here. And in here, I love this, you know me, I love a good splodge, and I love this one as well. So we're going to use those two first, do our outside. So this is, so you can see this is kind of tools and cars and all of that, but you can do it much more generically with some of these others. And of course, Father's Day is not that far away, but anyway. Right, so we're going to grab our inks. Let's see. I'm going to grab some grey granite and some Sahara sand. Okay, so again, I'm going to bring in our scrap paper, and same as before, I'm actually going to do bottom right for this. Just feeling that vibe today. Okay, so we're going to start with the Sahara sand. So when you stamp the same colour, you get a really soft, lovely soft effect. So I'm just going to create some splodges here, like so. And then I'm going to come in over the top with the grey granite, because that's a bit darker. Okay, and then I'm going to take these small knots here, and I'm going to heat emboss these. So let me grab my Versamark again, and I'm going to emboss them in black. So where's my embossing buddy? Where did I put it? Can you guys see it? This is what happens when I don't tidy as I go. I just, there it is. I've laid the dies down on top. Okay, there we are. So now we're just going to stamp these fairly randomly. It's a bit tricky because you can't see it, but it's random, so it's fine. I know, Diane, I love this splodge. Now this is, oh, that's shimmery black. Have I got regular black? 1 second. I'm just looking for my black embossing powder. Nope. Let's do silver then. I don't want shimmery. So let's just pop our silver in here. Also worth mentioning, I've cut this stuff out of silver foil, and our silver foil is retiring, which is not good. Now, also what's not good is after hunting for my embossing buddy, I think I didn't actually use it. So I've got some embossing powder where I don't want it. So I'm just going to use my brush . To get rid of that. See, that is what happens when you don't use your embossing buddy first. There we go, that should do. See, I was distracted by the lack of black embossing powder. Okay. And then we'll just blast that with the heat tool. There we go. Excellent. And then I'm going to use the All Geared Up to Celebrate. Okay. And I'm going to do this on a scrap of black I have somewhere. 1 second. Sorry guys, just looking for my scraps of black. 1 second. That's that one. I have them all right here. There they are. It's getting dark around here, so I can't really see. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So I want a strip. Let's have a look. I've got a narrow one. Let's do that one. Okay, so again, I'm just going to trim the edge here. Okay, and this time I am going to remember my embossing buddy. Stamp that down. Let's see if I'll get it straight. I'll emboss that with our silver. So I don't know if I told you, but I've been called up to get my jab, my COVID-19 vaccine, this Saturday. So we'll see how that one goes. I've just finished with we had to do 3 tests, which were mighty uncomfortable. I think the 3rd one, she went so far up my nose it was still hurting 2 days later. I thought she'd never stop. So yeah, I don't know if any of you had your jab yet, or are due to have yours. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just creating all the outfit. You've had both now, Diane. That's brilliant. That's fab. I'm just gonna do the end of this. How was it? I've heard some people have had quite the reaction to it, and then others hasn't been anything. How did you get on? Okay, I'm going to come back to that in a second. Right, so that's our outside. Let's just glue those together. Sue, you get yours, your second one next week. Fantastic. Whoop. Second one soon, Doreen. Wow, you guys are miles ahead of me. It's good to know, though. It's fantastic that people have been able to get their vaccine so quickly. I know Kevin, he had his first one a few weeks ago, which was great. Has anybody suffered any side effects from theirs? Or have you all gotten away? I've heard stories from quite a few people here that they've reacted and had like a couple of days where they've been feeling pretty rough. It seems the younger you are, the worse it is. Doreen, you had no reaction at all. Lucky you. Amy had a migraine for 2 days. Ugh, I hope I don't have that. That would not be good. AstraZeneca's fine. Pfizer has more side effects. Yeah, although there's been a lot of controversy about the AstraZeneca, hasn't there? Okay, so I'm just going to place that there, and I will come back to that in a minute. Now let me show you the mechanism inside. Okay, so instead of cutting a piece, I'm going to add something, and basically you just want a square. So we're going to put the dies inside like so. Okay, so I've cut a piece that's the same color as the inside, so it's not as obvious. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my scoreboard. Come home from work to sleep. Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Right, so this is, I've cut it to 2 centimeters just as a guide, because I wanted it to be reasonably firm for this, because this is quite it's not a delicate die, but it's quite filigree. And all I'm going to do is on every 3 centimeters, okay, I'm going to do a score. 3, 1, 2, is it 3 I want? Yeah. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 4 score lines. Can you see that? So what that means is that when I fold it together, I'm going to score each of these lines. Okay, we end up with a square. So now I'm just going to trim off a little bit of this end, and we've got something for it to stick together. And again, it doesn't matter what size this bit is, as long as it's not as big as that one. Alright, and again, because this is interactive, I'm going to put some tape on here. Well, I shall let you guys know next Wednesday how I got on. I've already been given my appointment for my second one, which is in July. So, but I've no idea which one I'll be getting. Alright, so there we have our square. Okay. Hi, Mary. Can I shout loud? Oh my goodness. Hello! Okay, so let's see if this one works. So now what I'm going to do is we've got to attach that inside. And now you can see we have the same basic effect as the other one. But I'm just going to check that I've done this right, that it'll give me the effect I want for my dies. So I'm just going to attach them there. So you need to do the same thing, is just make sure it won't go out. Okay, so that looks fine. So now what we want to do is we want to attach these 2 pieces in here like so. Okay, so again I'm going to use my tape. Wakey wakey, rise and shine. Hopefully I can keep you awake with my wonderful cards. Although I have to say, after my long walk today, I did feel a bit sleepy this afternoon. Especially as I got back to the garden and the sun was shining, so we just sat out in the garden and enjoyed that. And I, really thought I was going to doze off in the sun. Oh, there you go, Mary. Diane's waking you up as well. Thanks, Diane. Right, so what I'm going to do is just lay this down like so, and then close the card over it. Okay? And then we'll just turn it over. And now we can do this bit. 4 a.m. tomorrow, Mary. That's not natural. Fair play to you. I couldn't do it. I am not a morning person. And I have to say that's one of the joys of working from home. That you can get up later, or you can have a much more leisurely morning before you've got to leave for the office. Okay, so then we just close over. Our bone folder. So there you go. We have our pop-up mechanism. So it's the same effect as this one, but instead of it being cut in, it's just a little square. So now we want to attach our dies to here, so you can see as before. I'm just making sure that wherever way I attach them, when I close my card, they won't stick out, so it looks to me like I need to attach it behind this wheel here. So I'm going to use some tape. which I had in my hand just a second ago, and it's here right in front of me. So it was this wheel here, wasn't it? Or was it this one? Can't remember now. I think it was this one. Yes, it was that one. And I'm just going to put it across these two pieces here. Now I know that my tape is wider. Whoops. Can you see that? My tape is wider than the spokes, okay? But we can do something about that. So let's just peel our pieces off. Now look at that. I peeled them off in the wrong order. There we go. Okay, so now what we can do is just pull the tape back like that. Can you see what I'm doing? Don't recommend using your fingers. You just get this tape everywhere, but use your pokey tool or something sharp to just pull it back like so. Okay? And because it's going down on this cardstock, you just will never notice. There you go. Press it down. Now I've still got a little bit there, and I don't want it to stick to the inside of my card. So what I'm going to do is just take my embossing buddy and just run it over it a little. Okay, and that will just take the stickiness off of it. And now what I've got is I've cut out some of the other little individual dies here, so I'm just going to embellish. So now it's time for a bit of fun. There we go. I think that'll work. So I'm going to use glue on these. Don't need a lot. Just some little dabs. Little dab will do you. What was that from? It was an ad of some sort. Can anyone remember what that was? Was it Brill Cream? Don't know. Okay, and then what you can do Brill Cream. That's it, Mary. See, you are awake. Maybe we should just keep asking general knowledge questions to keep you awake. Or maybe some mental arithmetic. What do we reckon? Random questions are better. The other side of the inside, Amy. Can do that. On this side. I have some extras, so let's do that. Hi Terry, welcome. Alright, there we go. And then you can see we've got these little circles here that are the cutouts from some of these. I'm going to put a couple of these around like so. one up here. So when you cut out your dies, always keep an eye on what's left behind, because sometimes you get some really cool stuff. Like some diddy little circles. There we go. And then I think there's just one more thing that we need to do. And that is spritz with our black marker. Okay. So let's... There we go. So there we are. There's our second pop-up card. Cool. Alrighty. So that's just 2 ways of doing that type of pop-up. But wait, there's more. I have another one for you. A different type now. So let's see, how are we doing for time? See, I'm not used to... Oh my goodness, it's 9:15. I'm not used to doing such involved cards. Mary says, sold your flat in Twickenham, buying a 2-bed flat. Oh, a massive room to be your craft room. Yay, Mary. That's super news. I'm delighted to hear that. I'm really, really pleased for you. Okay, so we're going to do some butterflies next, and we're going to use the pinky bit of that glimmer paper that I was telling you about. Okay, and I'm going to use the Butterfly Gala stamp set, or yes, stamp set and the coordinating punch. So again, these are retiring. If you don't get anything else, get this punch. This is brilliant. Already I have cut a load of butterflies from the purpley greeny bit. Okay, so that's when I cut my hearts out for the first card, I had loads of bits left over, so I just cut these out of the leftovers, and these will just sit on my desk to use whenever I need them. Okay, and then we're also going to use, this is the Pinewood Planks embossing folder. This is also retiring, which I just, don't ask me. They're also retiring the Sottles embossing folder, which, yes, I'm sure you guys can know what I think about that. So then we've got a Melon Mumbo piece of card base, and then what I've got here is a piece of card, the same colour, the same length, and I think this is about 4 centimetres. Again, the exact dimensions don't really matter. You're just about 4, no, it's more than 4 centimetres, isn't it? Let's measure that. That is 8 centimetres. Okay, and we'll need some acetate. Okay, and then we've just got some other bits and pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this colour, these colours, to just pop out some butterflies with these beautiful, beautiful colours. And some pinks. And we'll do yellow. And some more. Okay, so that should do us. Again, I'm going to do the front first. Okay. So we're just going to stick our white piece to our black piece. Like so. And then we're going to stick this to our card base. Okay, and this is a landscape. Hi Jules, welcome, just saw you there. So now I'm going to use the You've Been On My Mind. And again, I'm going to just do this. I'm just loving, you're probably all bored of it already, but I'm loving the white embossing on black for the sentiment strips. It's just so lovely. I think I've got a slimmer, yes, I use this one. This is a bit slimmer. Okay, first mark. There we are. And we'll do our white. Embossing. Whoop. Ooh, that was close. We nearly had an embossing powder disaster there, ladies. Whew. And then we'll just hit that with the heat tool. Yep, it is magic, Lynn. Heat embossing every time. It's probably my favourite thing to do on a card, except maybe splodges. Okay, so we're going to maybe put that there. And then we just grab our butterflies. And now comes the hard part. It's doing some random layout. Okay, so I want to keep 4 big ones for the inside, and you'll see why in a minute. I think we could probably do with another big one. What do you reckon, ladies? Let's get ourselves a nice pink. Go, that works. So we're just going to flag the end of this one again. Okay, and then we're going to use our dimensionals. Keep going off the screen, sorry ladies. Just love, like I said, I'm so pleased that this paper is not retiring. See if we can get this on straight, even. There we go. There. Alright, and now it's time to break out the glue dots. I'm going to put 2 on the larger butterflies. That one's not quite worked, so let's try that again. I think it's torn the paper, but that's all right. There we go. Okay, now for the inside. So what I want to do with this piece is I want to fold it in half, okay? And because it's quite narrow, I'm actually going to score it. So I'm just going to score it at 4 centimeters. Just grab my one folder. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Okay, now that's torn a bit, but it's not very important for this particular card. Okay, and then we have our acetate, our window sheet. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, this is a bit, there's some bits of grime on here, but it's not that important because we're going to cover it up. So we just want to cut some strips, and we want the strips to be about 1 centimetre, I would say. Okay, so I'm going to cut 4 of these. And again, it doesn't matter if they're not exactly straight. And I'm going to cut these down to different sizes. Can anyone see where I'm going with this one yet? Okay. Right. So now what we're going to do, can you see those there? Okay, and then on the inside. So you can see that all of these are too long. Okay, so I'm going to cut them down. And I'm going to cut a couple more, just to be sure. You know how it is with me, it's always seat of the pants stuff. You don't want them too wide because we're going to stick our butterflies onto them. And if they're too wide, they'll show behind the, well, they'll show anyway, but they'll be very obvious behind the little ones. Okay, so just cut a few more. Okay, so you probably can't see these very well, but you'll get the idea. Okay, it's easier to see if it's on there. So I'm just going to cut it down and then I'm going to take these 2 butterflies. Okay, and we're going to put 2 glue dots on the center of this one and 2 glue dots on the center of that one, and we're going to attach them to either side of the window sheet, like so. Okay, I'm going to do the same with these 2. Glue dots again. Again, 2 glue dots. Two glue dots. And just attach them to the top. So you can see that the window sheet is level here. It's not sticking out. Okay? And then we just line the 2 butterflies up. Like so. Okay, so now we have 2 butterflies, and then we want some skinny ones. So for these ones, what I'm going to do is we're going to put 2 on each, like so, and then for these little ones, I'm not being super careful about the colours matching on either side, so to speak. Just being a bit random. There we go. Then let's try one more. seem to have managed to put a glue dot on the front of this. I'm just going to pull that off. I've picked up an extra glue dot somewhere, so there we go. Okay, so now we have 4. I think I might make a third one. Seeing as I've got 2 more butterflies left, I might as well finish them off. Okay, so and if we want more, we can just punch some more out. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to create our scene, so to speak. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on my card. So because what's going to happen, okay, is this is going to stick down. No, this is going to stick down. No, this one is... Ooh, I can't remember. We'll have to try that one. But either way, okay, we want to lay our... Now we can lay them straight, or we can lay them at an angle. We just want to, as I say, make sure that none of these actually go outside of the card. Okay, I think... Alright, so now we're going to add a strip of sticky tape to this side. I'm just going to pop these, make sure I'm still in position. I don't want to stick it down yet until I'm happy with what I've got. It needs to be this way. Okay, so I'm going to trim a little bit off the end. There we go. And then I want this one further up. Okay, and then we close that up. Okay, and now what we want, I'm trying to remember how I did this earlier. Just 1 second, ladies. Yep, that's right. There's another strip which is here somewhere. Excuse me, ladies, I've lost my other piece. Just 1 second. I'm going to grab some more. Got another piece now, okay, which is going to do that. Just trim it slightly. Okay, now this is a scrap I've got. This is had some embossing paste on this piece before, so okay. So just a quick tip for you, if you're ever taking your tape off and it won't come off, just give it a bit of a rub and that should do the trick. It was always one of my big bugbears when I first started card making, was when it wouldn't do that. Okay, so we're going to do like we did before. Okay, I'm going to just place that down and close my card over it. Okay, and then on this side, we're going to attach our butterflies like so. Let's just press all that down. Good solid crease with your bone folder, because there's quite a lot inside this card. So now when you open it, you get your butterflies popping out. And I'm just going to do one last thing, which is I'm going to stamp something on the inside. So we're going to do Hello Beautiful, and I'm going to stamp it in white on black just for consistency tonight. Just keep the theme going, why not? Stamp that in the center. Put our white embossing powder on it. Here we are. Cover up my ink pad. I don't want to dry it out with my heat tool. That wouldn't be good. Okay, and then I'm going to grab the heart dies that we were using earlier, and I'm going to die cut with this one. So I should be right back. go. I'm just going to pop that in the center and glue it down. So there we have it. A beautiful pop-up butterfly card. So isn't that something that would cheer somebody up of a day? So there we go. What time is it? Oh, 9:10. See, this is what happens when I make complicated cards. Although, to be honest, they're not actually that difficult. They've just got a few extra steps in there. So let's bring them back in, because it's voting time. So, is it card 1, card 2, or card 3? Can you see them in the camera? Love all 3, Amy. Oh, thank you. So like I said, remember, all of the products that I've used here tonight, with the exception of this fabulous paper, are retiring. So if you like any of this stuff, then do make sure to get it. I'll just remind you again of what we used. So we used the Meant to Be stamp set and the coordinating dies on this one. We used the Geared Up Garage and coordinating dies for this one. So let's show you the pop-ups again. And then on this one, bing, we used the Butterfly Gala and the Retiring Butterfly Punch, as well as the Pinewood Planks embossing folders. So that's it for this evening. Thank you again, all of you. It's been a pleasure to be with you, and I hope you've enjoyed our pop-up cards. I love that. I love those butterflies. I'm just going to keep opening this all day long. So as I say, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday. Let's see, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 and 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. Oh, 2 is close. Yeah, 2 seems to be the winner tonight. Oh, someone's giving me a thumbs up. Yay, thank you. Alrighty, so as I said, if you haven't done so already, I'd love it if you shared this video. It really helps me out. And I will see you all again next week. Bye.